Wow. So here's the deal, guys. Here's the deal. You know what happened? Podcast. And so that's kind of why that happened. Welcome everybody to Dumb Guy Live, the most professional Russell Pierce podcast. We're here. Those of you who are here right now, you will be here no matter what, so to speak. So thank you all for being here on this Tuesday. Got myself. We got Jamie Kuhn, and we've got Murph Burner, all here, and we're gonna talk a lot of Stardom. We might talk some New Japan, probably not because I don't care because I didn't watch the show. But we're definitely going to talk some AAA as well, some TripleMania. So yeah, the Dumb Guys, in fact, are live, Michael, and we are the fucking lads, Charlie. That's right. I love it. Let's get started with the fucking show, then, lads. I can't wait. Okay.
Let's fucking have it. Let's fucking have it, Parker.
Let's fucking have it, dude. Mate, bloke.
Let's fucking go.
Are you taking the piss right now? I don't believe it. Hello, Isra. Murph is the devil and Jamie's a nerd. Oh, she loves it.
Speak of the devil.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Enough of that, everybody. Actually, I agree. I agree. Russell Haas, British Parker. It's very powerful, so I'm only allowed to break it out ever so often because Jamie's the only normal British wrestling fan. So I sort of tolerate it in that sense.
And he's Scouse, not English. So that's another thing.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
That's a good point. When did Mark Davis sign with Russell Pierce? Are you talking about me, John? I don't believe it. I don't have the wagon that he has. But
can you give us an Australian accent?
Oh, like this? Actually, you know what? I bloody talked to an Aussie for like a half hour today, because he moved to America and did like lacrosse in San Diego, and now he just like lives here. And we were talking about fundraising for the debate team. So yeah, that's kind of what that was like. All right. So anyway, let's talk. We're gonna talk about Stardom. It's the preview week for one of the biggest shows in Stardom history, maybe the biggest show in Stardom history. Jamie is all prepared with the Stardom gear. I don't buy Stardom gear because I'm not a Joshi freak pervert. But there was also what we're going to do before we preview All-Star Grand Queendom is we're going to talk about the Cinderella finals from this past weekend. So I want to start. Obviously, this wasn't the main event of the show or anything, but I think it's the biggest story coming out of it. Mirai, for the second straight year, is the Cinderella champion. Jamie, I got to be honest, I have not followed much about what her plans are with this or what's going on with the Mirai or what it is. But we were wrong on who we thought was going to win Cinderella. Before I get into my overall thoughts, let's talk about she beat Mai Sakurai in the finals. So let's go sort of in chronological order here. Let's talk about the semis first. Mai Sakurai beating Waka Tsukiyama in under 6 minutes. Our pick to win it once we got to the semifinals, they went with the heat with Mai Sakurai. Jamie, take us through it.
Yeah, it was very surprising. I think we all kind of predicted Waka to go through. It's a strange one because we all predicted Natsupoi to win the whole thing, and she went out round one. So, what this has taught me is that we're not very good at starting predictions. But I think it's a weird one with Waka, right? Obviously, there's rumors that she wasn't meant to be in this tournament from the off. So obviously, we kind of like we were following along with the story. We thought we were going to thought she was going to win. That obviously was not the plan at any point. Mai Sakurai has been built up as this, you know, she's the top heel in the company by the sound of it. She's the only real heel. You know, she got some real heat. But yeah, it was really surprising. And, you know, I was expecting Waka to get the win, especially considering like a lot of us, including yourself, Parker, we thought that Mai Sakurai would be the one to eventually lose to Waka in her first win, right? So I thought we were finally going to get this moment where Waka beats Mai Sakurai. It never happened. The match was like, what it was. It was all right. It's just, you know, she does a Harlem hangover, which is like that's good.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, nothing like crazy. But yeah, interesting decision for sure.
So eliminated Waka obviously sends Mai to the finals, even with her sort of new character, revamped presentation, and all that over the past few months. I don't think anybody pegged Mai Sakurai as a winner, even going into the finals. Like when you get to the finals, it should kind of feel like anybody's game, but even then, it was like no. Yeah. So then the other semi, Mirai obviously defeated Ami Saray. I thought this was a solid match. I just watched it a couple hours ago. I thought this was pretty solid. I like Saray. Didn't blow me away or anything though. Mirai versus Mai Sakurai ended up being the final. Anything to say about this other semi, Jamie?
No, not really. They both had new gear, which was cool. But other than that, not much really to. You know, it was solid. They're both pretty decent, but yeah.
Okay, so then that brings us to the finals. I don't think anybody in the entire world had Mirai versus Mai Sakurai as the Cinderella finals coming into this tournament. Practically nobody had either of them even in the final. Nobody had Mai in the final.
Maybe I don't think anybody wanted this. I don't think anybody was like,
yeah,
Mirai versus Mai Sakurai? That sounds awesome. No one said that.
You know, I'm trying to put myself, I feel like, okay, well, first we'll just talk about it. Mirai wins. I thought this was one of Mai Sakurai's better matches ever. I thought it was nice and heated. I thought it felt like a big deal to me. Like it felt like, you know, the stakes, she lived up to the stakes of the finals of the second biggest tournament of the year. I don't think the match was blowaway though. Like last year's and the year before's, I thought were considerably superior to this year's Cinderella finals. But I mean, that's not really Mai's goal, putting her in the finals. It's to get lots of heat and get over Mirai as a babyface, which they've pushed pretty much since day one of Mirai entering the company. So Mirai is your Cinderella champion. Jamie, thoughts on the match, and then talk a little bit about where you think we go from here with Mirai. Where's she going to challenge? Is she going to be the one to dethrone Saya? What's going to be the deal here?
Yeah, on the match, pretty much even nailed it. Is like it's not to the level of the previous Cinderella finals, but like you said, like that's not really the goal. Mai Sakurai until like this tournament has been pretty much Donna Del Mondo's pin eater, and she's suddenly become kind of like, you know, they've ramped up the heel character for this. I think it's been pretty effective. I think, like, you know, a lot of people got behind Waka, and then obviously that didn't work out. But I saw a lot of people behind Mirai. So I think it worked overall. Obviously, the match wasn't like anything too incredible, but as far as like a Mai Sakurai match goes, I think we got pretty decent out in there. But in terms of what happens next, my thoughts on it are very dependent on what comes after this, because she's mentioned, so she didn't explicitly state what she's challenging for, right? Usually it's they say it straight after the whole presentation. She's going to wait until after the show we're about to preview next Sunday. So she's got it down to the red belt, white belt, and IWGP. Now she's not winning the red belt. She's not winning the IWGP belt. At least I don't think so yet. So that leaves the white belt, I think. So for me, it's going to be very dependent on where we go in this Mina Saya match. So now I think the only way that this Mirai win makes any sense at all is if Saya's retaining on Sunday, and then we're waiting for Mirai. Because otherwise, if Mina wins and Mirai challenges for the white belt, Mirai's not winning that challenge unless Mina's getting a really short reign. So in that case, like, what was the point really? So it's all pretty dependent on where we go from here. And Mirai by no means is my preferred choice for next white belt champion. Mina isn't either. It was probably Hazuki or Maika or someone down down the list of previous challenges. But you know, that's where I'm at with if this is going to make any sense.
So here's my thought here. I think this booking decision is terrible. I think it's one of the like worst major booking decisions from a major Japanese company in a long time. And that's not just me like being a Mariah hater. Obviously, I'm not a huge fan of her as a wrestler. I think it's like fair to assess things as both a fan and then as like sort of a neutral evaluator, like trying to be a little bit unbiased here. But obviously, full disclosure, like I don't think Mariah's any good. I don't get into her matches much at all. I think I think she can have great matches when she's in there with a fantastic opponent, like we saw in the Mayu match in last year's 5-star, like we saw in the at New Blood against Suzu. Right, there have been really good Mariah matches, but to me, it's almost never her driving them. Right, it's never her who is the reason why they're great. So, and this is such a stacked roster with so many people who it feels like could be up next, like Natsupoi, like Micah, like other, any of the prospective favorites, Starlight Kid, people like that, who I just feel are so much better than Mirai in terms of everything about wrestling. I think they're more likable as performers. I think they're way more talented between the ropes. And I just don't understand why, like, the obsession with Mirai. She has been the most protected wrestler in the company outside of Shuri, Julia, and Mayu since she joined it. Mirai out of all of this roster, and I frankly just don't get it.
And what
Murph, are you going to jump in?
As like a casual Stardom fan, I don't watch. I watch the biggest shows. I'll watch them. Like, I'm not someone who will watch your Corkins and all that. But I woke up on Sunday morning and I said on the show last week that I was going to watch the Cinderella tournament finals. I look at the card just because I'm like, I don't really care who wins when it's not like a promotion I love. So I was like, what are these matches looking like? I saw Mirai and I was like, screw this. So like I just like. It's just not exciting. Like I just don't feel excitement in like Mirai. Like Ami Sarai, I think is really good, and I think Ami Sarai just gets better and better every time. So she would be more interesting. My Sakurai, it's out of left field, but it'd at least be somewhat interesting. That's better. Waka, that'd be the best thing because they were telling a story, and what they did was they had her lose like a geek and then join Club Venus, which I don't know what they're cooking with that because she doesn't fit in that stable from what I've seen. And then they put it on the person who won last year, like who isn't any good and literally, stunk up the joint. Like I just don't get it. Like I don't like why. Like I have no interest in watching that, so I didn't. Like I'm gonna watch All-Star Grand Cinderella because it's a stacked All-Star in the Yokohama Arena because it's a stacked card with good wrestlers. But you want me to watch a main event a final match with Mirai? No, not a chance in hell. No.
I just don't. I don't know. I just don't get it. Like I don't get the obsession with Mirai. I don't get pushing her to this extent. It's been a long time since I've been baffled by people get like short heated pushes. Like even Omos in WWE, I can understand because he's like giant, right? I can understand giving him like a little push that's short. And then he goes back down the card to where he needs to be.
No, but what I'd say is like this just makes no sense because Mirai was a mid-carder in Tokyo Joshi Pro, which is a smaller promotion, and she wasn't even like someone who like thought you'd fit Stardom. This is like if WWE signed like the Butcher and made him into like a main event superstar. Like what the hell are we doing here? Like what is this right? Like it makes no sense. Does Mirai have Roshi on blackmail? I mean, Jesus, like what are we doing here?
Yeah. I think.
Go ahead, Jamie.
Okay, I think like I'm probably a bit higher on Mirai than you two, but she's by no means like one of my top favorites. Like I'd still have her on my lower end of like Stardom roster. I enjoy pretty much most of the Stardom roster. But even still, like just getting back to what I was saying before, like it's very dependent on where we go next with it. And even then, I'm not like huge on the idea. So it's one of my least favorite booking decisions from Stardom in a while. And you struggle to find many people who praise them more than I do. But it's it's not my favorite thing they've done.
Couple other things. The booking situation for the white belt now, presuming that Mirai goes for the white belt, right? That's not a guarantee, but it's probably what's gonna happen. You now have two people on the roster who it's gonna feel like such a like cutting out you have to pick one of them.
Mhm.
It's going to feel like you're completely cutting out their legs if they don't win. And unfortunately, one of them has to lose now between her and Mina.
And that wouldn't have happened if you had Waka Tsukiyama win. Waka Tsukiyama wins the Cinderella tournament. You have a great moment. And then you have that built-in story where she faces Mina. And, Waka can lose that match. And no one's going to blink an eye because it works. Like, that's how a booker is supposed to think. A booker is supposed to think for 2-3 months in ahead. You have to think of when you're booking a match. But you're like, no, we're going to have Mirai win. We're going to have Mina Shirakawa. It'll be ridiculous if Mina Shirakawa loses. And it's going to feel ridiculous if Mirai loses. If Waka Tsukiyama wins, it's not going to feel ridiculous if she loses because even if she's there, that's the whole thing. Like, so I just don't understand. Like, I've yet to hear a reason for this. This was like Naito losing at the Dome in 2018.
2018.
It's like that. Like, you can make up these things in your head saying, oh, this might be, it's for this reason. They want to prolong it. No, it's just stupid. It's a dumb booking decision, and it's going to end up convoluting the entire company. That's all I'd say.
So that brings me to my final thought, which is above everything else, like taking away my thoughts about Mirai, taking away my thoughts about the Final Four, about the booking around the white belt, all that type of stuff. By far, my biggest criticism here is you missed your chance with Waka. Sorry, it happened. That was your shot to make her really feel like a big deal, really a superstar underdog that the fans can get behind and support to bigger and better things. She lost in the semis. You don't give somebody a win streak and then have them lose more. And now what? Is she just like a member of the roster, right? Is she just going to win some and lose some like every other member of the roster now? Where does she stand? I don't get it. I don't get it. This was your chance to do some inspired booking, to give Waka Tsukiyama, even if she's not the intended victor, that's what good bookers do, is they do inspired things. Like, for example, when Ospreay got injured in May or June of 2021, and it was going to be Ospreay versus Shingo, I think, maybe for the title. Or no, it was going to be Ospreay versus Okada, and then they replaced him with Shingo right after he got injured. It was something along those lines. But nobody thought Shingo was going to win that title. Everybody was just like, all right, back to Okada. He's going to hold it down. We're still in pandemic wrestling. And then Geto pulled the trigger. He put the title on Shingo. And I don't think you would find a single person out there who's like, they shouldn't have done that, right? They shouldn't have done the inspired thing. Even though Okada's the bigger star and the bigger draw and all that type of stuff, it's just... You do the exciting, inspired thing that could potentially build something really cool. I think Waka is fantastic. I genuinely think that she has captured the minds of a lot of fans, not just in a meme way, but in a genuine, we want to see her excel and succeed in this promotion, because she has put her heart and soul into this lovable loser character and continued to add layers to it and dimensions to it and build to the point where anytime she's in a closing stretch with somebody, even on a minor house show, when she gets that roll up near fall, the place goes crazy. They want to see her win. And so you had your shot. I get the idea that you could still probably continue the story in some way, because it was in fact Mai that beat her. And I think Mai could still be that end goal, right? That we were talking about, of, when she beats Mai, then she's for real on the roster or something like that. You know what I mean? But I don't know. This was the shot. This was the shot to do it, and they did not. So, quick $1.99 super chat. Heart editing. Right, good. I drink your tears. Ha ha ha. Nice one, dude. Good one. Good one. Hey, how'd that Joshi draft thing go in the Discord? Just wondering. All right. So that's kind of my overall thoughts. Anything else on Cinderella, you guys, Jamie in particular?
There's big faction news, I guess. We had
go for
it. Officially, we'd been expecting it for a while. After the main event, because obviously the Cinderella final barely ever main events, because they have to do the whole ceremony afterwards. We had Donna Del Mondo versus Cosmic Angels, Donna Del Mondo got the win. Tam and Julia both scored a fall over each other. It was just best out of 2 out of 3 falls match. Afterwards, Mina leaves Cosmic Angels. Officially, Club Venus is now a standalone faction. We saw that coming. What I hadn't anticipated too much was Waka going with her. So Waka is now Club Venus as well. We just talked about her story. Maybe they didn't really capitalize on it. She had some great she got really emotional in this segment. I think they can build something with it. I think there's opportunities there to keep it going, but just because I think she's excellent, like you said. And then just when it was looking kind of down for Cosmic Angels, they've just lost 2 members. Unagi's nowhere to be found anyway. Soriano comes out. Obviously, she's going to be making her Stardom debut return, because she was there a few years ago, this Sunday, and she joined Cosmic Angels. So that's I think that's maybe a net positive. I don't know.
I'd say so.
Yeah,
but yeah, this was the best thing on the show for me. Sarah Anu joining Cosmic Angels feels like if she's not explicitly signed, feels like she's pretty exclusive right now. I sure hope so, right? That just seems, yeah. I mean, I cannot express enough, because I know there's like 3 people in America who watch Ice Ribbon. I cannot express enough how much she carried Ice Ribbon over the last year when she was champion. Ice Ribbon lost their top 7 wrestlers on the roster in the span of about 6 months. Sarah Anu came in and was crowned champion in that tournament after that Yokohama Budokan show. And she just put on great title match after great title match after great title match over and over again, consistently in impossible circumstances. And we weren't always against the best opponents too. So huge fan of this in Stardom. Huge anytime I can see her in a promotion that I follow. It's good news for me, because it's way better than toiling away in like Oz Academy and Sendai Girls, which I don't watch. So yeah, that's the news there. Let's see. Anything else on Cinderella? I think that's the big stuff, y'all.
Yeah, that's pretty much the major thing. Mercedes was there. she
was there.
She rocked up, attacked Mayu. To be on that point as well, I think when this card was initially revealed, including the whole Cinderella semis and finals as well, it didn't look like the most stacked card, particularly with the card we've got coming up next. But I think they did a pretty good job of making it like a really strong go-home show for the big card this Sunday. There were a few big angles and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much the only major news. Mercedes was there in disguise and then attacked Mayu, setting up that dream match for this Sunday. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, y'all. Let's move on. Stardom All-Star Grand Queendom from the Yokohama Arena in Yokohama, believe it or not. We currently have 11 matches announced for the card. We're going to go top down. We're going to go in reverse order, talking about the main event first, and then we'll go down and head to the undercard. But this is as big as it gets for Stardom. So at the top, Julia defends her World of Stardom Championship against Tam Nakano. This is one of the premier Stardom rivalries of the last, pretty much since the pandemic, since their complete revamp of the roster. It was Tam taking the white belt and Julia's hair at the March show, the Budokan show in March 2021. Then they meet again in the finals of the 5-Star Grand Prix last year. Julia wins that one and subsequently wins the red belt. This is the rubber match in terms of big time, major, 5 most important Stardom matches of the year, main events. They're tied 1-1. Jamie, are you excited for this?
Oh, I'm so excited for this. These two have wrestled, like I said, a few times before. That white belt match. We've had the 5-Star GP finals. I think the standards for those two competing is so high, but they have every possibility to overtake it just because how good they both are. The feud has been super heated. In the press conference, I don't know if you saw.
I did see. Yeah, this was weird.
Yeah, Tam bladed. Like she
Yeah.
it's like, we got colour in the press conference. Stardom press conferences are normally like pretty wild, but that was like, leveling up a little bit there. But yeah, like Julia, I've enjoyed every title defense so far. I know I've seen some people who haven't been so high on them. I think people didn't like the finish to maybe the Maya Yukiki match or whatever. But for my money, I've enjoyed both of them. This will be the first title defense against like actual Stardom opposition. By kind of two outsiders kicking off, and yeah, it should just be like it should be immense. I think on a card that's got Mayu versus Mercedes on it, which is like that's a lot of people's like major dream match for Mercedes. The fact that this match, like, I'm not mad at it being the main event over that. That's
No, not at all.
that shows you how good this one's going to be.
It's the world title. I remember it was a big conversation leading in 2 years ago, leading into the Budokan show, what match should main event, because I think there were 3 on the card between Julia Tam, Utami Saya, and Mayu Yoshiko that people thought could or should have main evented that show, and I was always like fully, it's got to be Tam, it's got to be Tam, it's got to be Tam, and I thought, I thought that was the right choice. So yeah, it's the world title, and it's 2 of their top stars. Like, and not only, but it's elevated by the fact that they have this heated rivalry that has gone on for years at this point. So I think absolutely the right choice here. Quick question from Lamora, $5 super chat. Thank you, Lamora. Is Red Belt Tam the move to make for the main event result, or would that undercut Julia too much? Jamie, what do you think?
I'm not madly against it, but I'd lean more towards Julia retaining. But my only thing with that is that I feel like Tam should be the one to be here. That makes sense to me. So if it's not here, I worry that they're going to go down the same route that we've gone for the last couple of years, where it'll be she loses the first challenge, wins the 5-star, and then wins it in December. Which, like, it's fine, but it gets a bit predictable.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to get too predictable, right?
I'd say pull the trigger. In my opinion, I would pull the trigger. Because, they're running basically, in my opinion, like, other than like domes, like baseball stadiums, probably the second biggest, like, important arena in Japan, just from a not even wrestling standpoint, but like concerts, pop culture standpoint. So, I feel like you want to end like a show like that with like a babyface moment, in my opinion. Like, you want to send the fans home happy. Send the fans home happy. And I feel like if you're going to do that, then you have to do it in that way. So I would have Tam win. And I'd revisit Julia down the line. But I think having a babyface on top with Tam would be interesting because Siri was not like an outright heel, but she wasn't like a strong babyface. Like Tam's really someone like that hasn't been like champion since like met you, so like a person like her. So I would give the belt to Tam personally.
I'm fine with either result. I love both wrestlers. I think they're both great. Tam is one of my probably 2 or 3 favorites in the company. So I'd obviously love to see her win this title. She's never held it. Obviously, I think that's a big difference here. Julia's an interesting case. I have loved her reign. I think she's been great on top, and yet she reminds me a little bit of like Hangman Page in AEW, where you get a few months in, it was all about like it took so long for her to finally just win that title. She was a top star forever, and she would just beat everybody, but she just never won the title until she did. And I think in a lot of those circumstances, once that happens for a wrestler, it just feels like we're kind of cruising until something big happens, right? Until we get that new champion. So I'm a proponent, like I said, of inspired booking. I don't think it would be uninspired to have Julia retain because there's so much more you can do with it. But at the same time, I love Tam, and I don't know. I don't think this Julia. It's so weird. Like, again, I've loved the matches and I've loved the reign, but there's not that next level thing where I thought like Utami and Shuri's just sheer dominance on top set them apart, whereas Julia doesn't feel quite like that to me, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm fine with either result. That's a good question, Lamora. Matt, we got your super chat. We are going to read it for sure, but I think that's going to fit best after we talk about the card. So don't let me forget it. If we get like to the end and I still haven't talked about it, remind me. Okay, and then Let's skip ahead a couple matches really quick because we got this $1.99 super chat from Mavs fan 84. Shuri Hashimoto is going to be some real violent graps. Yes, fourth from the top, we have a big special singles match between Shuri and Chihiro Hashimoto of Sendai Girls. Hashimoto has been one of the best wrestlers on the independent Joshi scene over the last few years. Fantastic rivalry with Mio Momino a couple of years ago, and she's just as reliable as they come in terms of putting on great matches. So I'm stoked about this one. What about you guys?
Yeah, this should be excellent. Have you seen the stipulation? There's a stipulation now.
There's a stipulation now?
There's some politics, which we've discussed it before. Mentioned about how we're not doing this match until neither are champion. So one
right.
of them this match will not be a normal match. This will now be KO submission only, I believe.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'll
Is Hashimoto a champ somewhere?
No, she was Sendai Girls, but even still, she's very protected, and Shuri's obviously.
Is it Asuka who's Sendai Girls champion right now?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
KO rules. I just feel like that just means that Shuri is gonna, Shuri should KO her. They should do the head kick finish. I think they should do the
I hate that.
The high kick. You do? I love it. I just think when you call for the bell, I'm like, yo, okay, there it is.
If I wanted that, I'd watch UFC. I'd prefer.
I don't know. I love it when Keno does
someone hits a finish and you go 1, 2, 3. That's more my thing, or a submission hold. But the KO thing isn't really my cup of tea. But I understand the appeal of it. I'd just rather watch real KOs than fake KOs.
Yeah, I think I think the two of the best women's wrestlers in the world.
Yeah.
So regardless of whether you like the stipulation or not,
right.
the bit in the middle will be.
I wouldn't go that far, but it's gonna be a very good match.
These are the types of this is the type of matchup that Shuri has excelled in since really coming into her own in Stardom against bigger wrestlers who just essentially throw each other around, hard hitting, all that type of stuff. The people who complement her style the best are the ones that she tends to have the best matches with, whether that's Julia or Utami or Micah or Risa Sarah, just like the more brawler technical types, less the less the high flyers and more refined wrestlers. So I'm stoked for this one. It's going to be great. And I don't mind the stipulation at all. It's just weird because as I recall, Chihiro Hashimoto doesn't really have a submission finish. I could be completely mistaken on this, but I don't recall her winning many matches via submission, although she definitely has a technical aspect to her game for sure. Okay, semi-main for the white belt. This is the match that we've been anticipating for 6 months now since what's that, Dream Queendom, All-Star Dream Queendom? I can never remember these show names. I'm so sorry. They need to get better at the naming conventions, in my opinion. Saya Kamitani defending. Go ahead, Jamie.
They get pretty confusing. They use Cinderella, Queendom,
I would just put the building in the title, Dream. Like Yokohama Queendom, like that. It works better.
Yeah. Okay, Saya Kamitani versus Mina Shirakawa for the Wonder of Stardom Championship. Finally, again after 6 months, I think this is the time. Mirai winning is weird, and I feel like there's something fishy afoot. I don't know. They just gave Mina her own stable. Like, she's going to be the leader of a stable, and it's growing. Like, she has 6 members in it already. I don't know. It's got to be Mina in this match. I don't particularly care, because even though I really like Saya Kamitani, I'm over it. She's been champion for 500 days at this point, something like that. Ready for someone new. But I don't particularly want it to be Mina either, or Mirai. So that's kind of my thoughts there.
It's Mina time.
Yeah, they're in a tough spot. The initial Mina match, she botched the Phoenix Splash, and then she got this incredible babyface promo with 3 teeth and a mouth full of blood. And it kind of set up that feeling okay, if this wasn't the plan originally, this is kind of this is now where we're going with this. It became, the obvious story to tell. It feels like the narrative shifted slightly in the recent few weeks. I don't know whether either of you two will have like.
Yeah,
up
I've
with it.
definitely picked up on that too. Yep.
So
for sure.
it's become less of Mina being like the ultimate babyface, getting her win back. She's gone kind of heelish as well with the Club Venus thing. Not outright hitting, not like a Weddle type, but whereas Saya, the story for her has kind of become plucking up the courage to hit the Phoenix Splash again, which it's shifted the dynamic quite a little bit, and it makes me slightly worried that this is where we're going with it now, and Mina's not winning, and Mariah's getting the white belt. Which is it's another problem on the other side, because if she doesn't, if Mariah doesn't get the white belt, then it's like, what, why? So regardless, like you said before, one of those two is going to lose massively here. So yeah, but regardless of that, however we go with the booking decision, I think the match should be really good. I think it was Mina's probably best match of her career thus far.
Yeah, this has a chance to be the best Mina match ever.
Yeah, and even then, that was at a point where Saya's title defenses were getting a little bit like, we've seen everything that we can see out of her now, and it's kind of like, I think that match really over delivered. So, hopefully we'll get another strong show. And I think with the added aspect of like, it really feels like it could be the time now. I think this could be great.
For sure. Yeah, I think it's. I'm gonna go with Mina. I think it's her. I think the Mariah thing. It doesn't feel. It doesn't. It feels like they're gonna do something else, whether that's a IWGP Women's Title shot or something like that. Whatever it ends up being, feels like it's gonna be something else. So I don't know. I'll go with Mina. I could be completely off base there. All right, third from the top. I think this was probably the average fan's most anticipated match on the show. This is the IWGP Women's Championship match, the dream match that when people would talk about, what if Sasha Banks went to Japan? Who would it be cool to see her wrestler? This was the first name on everybody's mind. Mayu Iwatani. Mercedes Moné defends the IWGP Women's title against Mayu Iwatani at Yokohama Arena. I still can't believe that I'm saying that and I'm getting to report on that on a podcast. It's just the best. It's genuinely such a rare moment that it makes me truly happy to be a wrestling fan that we get things like this. We get people like Mercedes. Who the fuck's phone is going off right now? We get people like Mercedes who she was a fan, right? But she was a performance center training in WWE. Are you good, bro? What the fuck, man?
I want to do not disturb. My bad.
Okay. She was a performance center trainee, and she was in the WWE, which a lot of people never ever leave, especially if you're good. And especially if they consider you to be a star, which they did with Sasha Banks. She always teased it, right? She always talked about the excitement, and she always mentioned, she would train with Sendai girls, she'd train with Dash Chisako, right? And it's like, okay, that's pretty cool, right? I never in a million years thought that we were going to get this match. Never. I never thought it. If we were going to get this match, it was going to happen in WWE, because that's what it was like. It was like they got Kyrie, they got Io. When's Mayu coming? But things changed. Sasha and Naomi walked out, as was their right, and Mercedes has decided to get everyone excited about Stardom in a way that I don't think a lot of people have been this excited in a long time. Mercedes Moné versus Mayu Iwatani. Jamie, take it away from there.
Oh, well, actually, you've handed it over to me. I want to very quickly hand it over to Murph, because I've led on the last two. I saw Murph get a little bit fired up. I know he's not the huge, he's probably the least, big Stardom fan of the three of us. But I saw him pump his fist when we mentioned this.
What I'll say
I want him
to
take.
This Mercedes Moné run is something that is enjoyable, and there hasn't been a sense of must-see-ness because of the lack of the quantity that's coming. I think Mercedes Moné is not going to be here forever, and I think Sasha Banks is going to return soon, and I think you should enjoy Mercedes Moné. I mean, I thought this was going to be the last match. Wrestling Observer's Dave Meltzer, came out with a report saying that he believes that Monet is in talks for a match at the Minion and maybe possibly beyond. But I seriously don't think this is going to be a long-term thing, no matter how the Instagram posts say you. And, I think you should just enjoy it, because you're never going to have someone who's the top women's wrestler in the mainstream who just goes on a passion run in Japan. And that's just not going to happen again. What's is Charlotte Flair going to come to Japan? No, she's not. Becky Lynch going to come to Japan? No, he's not. So I would just enjoy this Mercedes Moné run, because you're not going to have a wrestler like this, come back. And you know what? I wish she was in AEW. Obviously, I wish it was better, but she's having her 7th month run. You need to enjoy it, because it's never going to happen again. So whether it's this match, another match, how many matches she's going to do left, just enjoy it, because it's not going to be happening forever. So enjoy Mercedes Moné. That's all I'll say on this match.
Yeah, man, I'm enjoying it. I'm very much enjoying it. She's 2 for 2 so far, which is very unsurprising. I think she's the best American women's wrestler of all time. Obviously she's been in there with Kairi, Azumi Hazuki so far. Mayu Iwatani, and Meth, I know you're like, Kairi's your favorite women's wrestler of all time, right, or something like that. For me, Mayu's my favorite of the current generation that we've got. I think she's just incredible the way she sells. She's just a real star. And against Mercedes, I think it could be like incredible. You talk about you wish she was in AEW. This kind of match is the one that makes me really glad that she's not. she'd be in the outcasts right now. I'm just
There's
like,
nothing wrong with the outcast.
I'm weighing up these 2 options, and I'm like,
Outcast
Yokohama Arena against Mayu, or tag team with Saraya. I know which one I'm choosing.
Saraya.
But regardless, it should be incredible. This is another one that's got match of the night potential. I think that's going to be a tough call when we get when we look back to that super chat, but it should be insane. I originally thought she was losing here because I hadn't worked out whether she was staying yet. It now appears like she will be, and I know Meltzer said one more date. I think she's going at least until the Tokyo Dome.
Wow.
She's talked about it a lot. She's mentioned it. And I just think I think as a huge fan, I think that's something she definitely wants to do.
On the record, I'm on the record. You'll see her in Detroit. On the record.
Okay, you sound like Ibu.
No, because if I was Ibu, I'd say, well, Stardom's not the big leagues, and Stardom, isn't the best place for her. She's just getting it out of her system, and she's gonna go back to where
getting out of her system. What a
she's
freak.
getting out of her system. She's going back.
I
to
literally hate him.
Monday Night Raw, the biggest show in wrestling. So no, I'm just being realistic, because I'm trying to keep my expectations low with this whole Mercedes run, because you never know when it's gonna end. So my whole thing is just enjoy it while it lasts. That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, I completely get it. It's like it's unprecedented, right? And I understand the fear of that this could be over at any point. Maybe it's just the hope in me. I think she'll be there at least until the Dome. But yeah, like you said, cherish every match we get onto this one. This one should be incredible.
Talking about Mayu briefly, she's not one that I ever particularly took to in Stardom. Not in a bad way, but in a way that I never really took to Tanahashi, for example, because you just kind of know that they're great and you just expect that greatness so much that it just sort of becomes the default. And I like a little edge to some of my wrestlers and little things like that. But and I also, it was a little bit of me being like a contrarian, because before the pandemic, the whole thing around Mayu, and this is extended a little bit, but it's cooled off in recent years, was she's like a freaking goofball, and she's like female Ibushi. She lands on her head. She's so crazy, and it was very so much like fans infantilizing her. This 25-year-old woman, 26-year-old woman. She's now 30.
Lives in Tokyo on her own. She's incapable of being a human.
Yeah, but she's like, oh, she's crazy. How's she gonna live? So it was all anyway. The point of all this is Mayu is so unbelievably good at fostering emotion in wrestling matches. Like the pain is etched on her face when she's hurt. The elation and joy is etched on her face when she succeeds and when she wins. And she's just the perfect opponent for Mercedes Moné. This is easily the most anticipated women's matchup I can remember having as a wrestling fan. And I cannot, if that doesn't say how excited I am for this match, I don't know what else will. I'm going to say Mercedes retains, but you can never count anything out. It is Mayu and it is Mercedes, right? So I don't think you can ever count that out. But let's go with Mercedes retaining in this one at Yokohama fucking Arena. I can't believe it. It's going to be great. Super chat quickly from Mavs fan 84 once again. Thank you, Mavs fan. Oh, my bad. Not gonna lie, Charlotte versus Hashimoto would be funny and beast. When I read this, I was thinking, like, if WWE signed Chihiro Hashimoto and then they had her win the Royal Rumble and then she faced Charlotte at WrestleMania, that would be like the best WrestleMania match ever.
Charlotte's so good. Charlotte at WrestleMania is like, I don't know what it is. It's like
it would be so awesome. Like, could you imagine? It's Chihiro Hashimoto and Charlotte's great. Like, I feel bad for people who don't let themselves enjoy Charlotte. I get she's not an inherently likable personality. I don't think she's like a bad person or anything, but she's just not like a super I don't know. She's just not that likable as like a person when you first see her at face value, but she's a fucking awesome wrestler when she's on.
She performs under the bright lights, man.
She got a classic out of Ronda last year. Like, I don't know what else to say about that. Yeah. So yeah. Lamora, now why would you say this? This is come on, man. All right. Let's move on. Let's move on here. A couple more title matches to talk about, and then a couple more special matches as well. I mean, this is an extremely stacked card here. Artists of Stardom Championships, Prominence, Risa Sera, Suzu Suzuki, and Hiragi Kurumi are defending against this star-studded team of Kairi, Natsupoi, and Saori Ano, which they're going by Restart. This 6-woman team, ton of actress girls inspiration here. This is a really I love this because I really liked old actress girls before the rebrand, and it's because I liked it. I will never watch the new actress girls because it's not wrestling. Go back and watch some fucking Sakuran Bonita matches and some Nokia matches and all that type of stuff. Just go watch that. Anyway, this is a really cool match. It does not feel at all like a Stardom match, but it's going to, I mean, it's Kairi and all these other fantastic wrestlers, and it's 5th from the top at Yokohama Arena. Can't wait.
Yeah, it should be excellent. when we started getting the build up to this card, and all the big title matches kind of falling in place. The size of this show, I was thinking, like, what's Kairi gonna do? Because you can't leave Kairi off a show like this, right?
Right.
She's on all the big shows. She doesn't work as infrequently as like Mercedes, but she's not around all the time. So you use her sporadically. And then obviously she had the mystery reveal with Soriano, and I think this match should be incredible. I assume they're winning the titles here. I've loved Prominence's run. I enjoyed them winning the Triangle Derby. I think it was like, it was a surprising move because obviously the champions don't often win these tournaments. But I think they've been excellent in Stardom since arriving. Some top trios matches. But I'm ready for some new champions. It'd be interesting to see how they gel as a team. Obviously, Natsupoi and Soriano are now in the same faction. So we'll see how those two work together. And yeah, just another like stacked match.
Murph, you're a big Kairi fan. Are you excited for this one?
It'll be great. It'll be a hell of a match. That Prominence team's pretty good. I can't say I don't know much about Hiragi Kurumi, but Risa Sera and Suzu Suzuki I've seen a bit of, and I think they're very good, especially Suzu Suzuki. And I mean, everyone on that other team's really good. I mean, Saori now is like probably the best freelancer there was, and now she's in Stardom. And Kairi and Natsupoi are my two favorite wrestlers in Stardom. So, what can I hate about this match?
Definitely a fun one. I mean, Kyrie she like always delivers. Like she's incredible. So
That's why I think she's the greatest ever. I mean, she's just really good.
She's awesome. Okay. Another title match, our last title match on the show. 7-Up, Nanai and Yu defending the Goddess of Stardom championships against the God's Eye team of Mirai. We haven't talked enough about Mirai on this show. And Ami Sourei, one of my personal favorites. This is like the one title match on the show that feels it lacks a little bit of prestige just because I don't think
I'll say it. Like, I don't really give a shit. Like, I think Nanai Takahashi is literally my least favorite women's wrestler in the world. Like, I would put like Eva Marie in front of her. Like, I think Nanai Takahashi is like the worst wrestler. I think she stinks. I find her off-putting. I think she's awful. So literally, I'm not gonna watch the show live. That's easily fast forward 20 minutes and move on to the next.
Nanai's good, dude. You just got to buy in, but don't be like cringe about it. Don't be like one of the Nanaiism freaks who are like, well, actually, she's fucking based, dude. Just like,
dude, I'd rather hang myself. I would never do that. Like, let's be real.
I think she's great. I think she's a really good wrestler. I think Yu is a really good wrestler. I think Ami Sourei is a really good wrestler. I'm very excited.
I like Yu and Ami Sourei. I just think Nanai sucks, and actually Mirai sucks, and Nanai sucks more. So so. Like, if it was a singles match, I'd be all over this.
Fair enough. Jamie?
I'm looking forward to it. I initially, I think a few podcasts ago, predicted the title change here. That's not happening. I don't know what I was waffling about. I think the Mirai Cinderella wins, clarified that even more. But even now, I don't know what I was waffling about. I think I've really enjoyed the 7-Up reign. I think they've had a lot of great matches. To Mer's point about Nanai, Nanai's been handing like a lot of wrestlers their best match ever in these passion injection matches. I think she's been doing a great job.
Shitty wrestlers then.
Not every wrestler's for everyone, man. I can't change your mind on that one. But I'm a fan of Nanai Takahashi. I think it should be pretty good. It is probably the title match, like you said, I'm least looking forward to. But even then, I think it'll be good. Be a good match.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Okay, another big one. Again, there are two more like really special matches on this show to make it a full 8 that are just great. Himeka will retire after this show. This will be her last wrestling match. She is taking on the only appropriate opponent for her final match in Micah. I'm so glad that it is Micah. I have not been able to keep up with as much Stardom as I've wanted to over the last couple months. I have yet to see any of Himeka's retirement run, but I'm gonna do the whole thing before this weekend. I'm gonna watch it all and get excited for this one. Notable, the main event of the Cinderella show, that was Himeka's last DDM match, of course. So this is it. This is it for Himeka. We'll definitely spend a good few minutes next week, and we'll do a little retrospective on Himeka's career after she ends up retiring here. Obviously, Micah's going to win. I could definitely see Micah winning this match and then being the next challenger for Julia. Usually what they like to do is have somebody get a big pinfall, especially if you win a special singles match, and then you challenge for that title. And I think Micah's a good opponent for Julia for that title. But yeah, not much to say. They've done well with Himeka's retirement road. And yeah,
what I'll say is, if I was Himeka, I'd be pretty mad. Imagine having your retirement match be 6th from the top. Like, what the like? That's ass. Like, imagine like your whole career, putting all of your like wrestling career into having a retirement match be 6th from the top.
I would put it over, but it's like World Championship, Wonder Championship, Mercedes.
I'm putting it in between Mayu. I'm putting it in there. Give everyone a cool down match.
Nah, she's not putting it above.
But I just
not
think
going to be above Shuri. It's not going to be above Kyrie.
But I mean, then do it on a different show. I mean, Jesus, imagine putting all of your life savings and being before intermission for your retirement match. That's just a little like
What about
Nozawa had a great
We
career.
both said Nosawa at the same time. That was funny.
Nozawa had a hell of a career, and he was fourth from the top in the damn Tokyo Dome. That's a
Yeah,
career right
but
there.
he booked that show. Is the difference?
No, the Noah booking team booked that show, not Nozawa. No, this match should be good. It should be emotional for some people, but Himeka should have had a better career than you'd be main eventing. That's what I'll say.
Wow, jeez, Murph.
A bit spiteful, but
it's a bit spiteful.
no, I think it should be excellent. I think Stardom have done a lot right by Himeka in this retirement run, as much as Murph thinks it should be a bit higher up the card. I think she's had everything she's asked for and more. We got the Hashimoto match. She's getting the Maika match. She had the tag with Miyuki Takase and Kakeru Sakaguchi with Natsupoi. And then there's been a ton of stuff more, the DDM stuff, singles with Natsupoi. I think it's just been handled really well. It's not her last match because she's doing like a spin-off per se. It's like non-canon against Sakura Hirota.
Right.
But, that'll main event.
The Sakura Hirota verse is its own thing, and it exists outside the bounds of space and time. So yeah,
I love her, man. She's been announced for the Hana Kimura show again. We got the whole card for that the other day.
She's gonna do great. Like
she's always excellent on those shows.
Yeah, and we will when it comes time, we'll definitely preview that show too.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's I think it's on a Tuesday. The show. So
so we'll have to do the week before. We'll have to remember.
Yeah. So if depending on if he's able to catch on the day, we'll be able to review maybe. But if not, then the next week. But no, I think this one should be excellent. I agree with Parker's point on Michael will probably get the red belt match after this. But yeah, it should be like emotional for big fans of these two. I've liked these two as a team. So yeah, a nice send off for Himeka.
Couple quick, Lamora, you need to answer this because no, I didn't. I don't know who you're talking about. Jamie, do you know who he's talking about?
Yes. Now Ishikawa.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Weird.
So
that seems weird to me because she's like not that good and not a big name.
I can't say I've seen like a ton. Julia posted like a picture with someone blurred out. But then now Ishikawa posted the picture and it's like very clearly her in the picture with Julia. It's like the same, kind of outfit in the background.
That'd be really weird.
I saw someone mention that it's like some sort of interview for Tokyo Sports or something like that. But she tagged like Stardom and DDM. And it's confusing. I don't know if she's a new member or whether it's just like misconstrued. I don't know, but
weird.
We'll see.
Super chat, yet another one from MavsFan84. Thank you so much, as always, by the way, for the support. Goldberg doing his own Muto-style retirement tour. That would be... I would love that. He just goes into although my only problem is that he should never retire. As long as he has the physique, he should never retire. That's it. Because he's going to look the exact same, maybe until he dies. And that's going to be
Noah.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. I would say the one other notable thing, I don't need to talk about fucking Fuwa or anything like that. There will be the Yokohama Rumble. Jesse Elabon is coming as a part of Club Venus. That's really weird. Just very, very strange to think about. The last notable match that we're going to talk about here is a tag team match, special tag team match, which is as high speed as it gets. Azumi and Mei Suruga of Gato Move will be taking on Starlight Kid and Mei Sarah, the former Mei Hoshizuki, returning to wrestling after like a year and a half away from the business. But she was always a high-speed person. She's wrestled against Azumi on Stardom shows before. And Mei Sarah is a great pickup. She's just super talented, just a really good young wrestler who you can build around. I was kind of worried that she was just going to be done, so it's really good to see her back.
Yeah, agreed. I think even when she was still active with Marvelous, she was always someone who was kind of come on, Stardom, get her for that high speed division. Because she just fits it like perfectly, right? And even during a Marvelous run, she like interacted with a few Stardom wrestlers. So I think she's like an excellent get. I think the team of Starlight Kid and May Sarah will probably win this, and I think May Sarah will be the next high speed champion. I think they're gonna push her strong. They don't have many bodies in that division, and even the ones that they do are kind of like they're not always, active in the division. Maybe like Koguma or Hazuki and doing tag team stuff. So I think we'll get a new champion pretty soon. But yeah, the match should be super fun.
All right, that's the big stuff on the show. I mean, that was the vast majority of the show. Murph has disappeared because for reasons, I guess. I don't really know what's going on. I think what we're going to do... Oh, Matt's super chat. Yes, let's scroll up there and let's talk about this. We don't need him for that. All the way up here. 555 from Matt B. Predictions, best match, sleeper match, which will disappoint. You can't bet against Mercedes, right? Like she has to be the pick for best match. Then would you agree with me, Jamie?
Could be Julia. Could be Julia Tam. I think it's a tough call for me. That's a testament to those two, because I think my Mercedes on paper is like like the ultimate dream match for a lot of people. But I think it's pretty close. I don't know. In terms of sleeper match, I don't know, because I'm pretty fired up for a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, if it like the prominence match could be fantastic just based on... I mean, I don't know if people are really talking all that much about Shuri and Chihiro Hashimoto, whereas like that could have been a world title main event in last year's reign, right? So I think if they go all out with the wrestling and you incorporate all the emotion into that, I think Himeka and Maika could be something special. Especially because Himeka never really had that one like killer blowaway singles match in her career. Like this has the chance to be it if they let her do that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think any other like sleeper matches. The interactions between Utami and Hazuki will be great, but I'm not like I've not seen enough of Fua Chan yet to work out whether she's any good. I mean, so she's a big star, I guess. So yeah, that's why she's on the card. But yeah.
And then finally, which will disappoint? It's just got to be something that doesn't get the time, right? Like some of these matches, at least one just won't get. It'll get like 9 minutes or something, and it'll be like, it was good, but it wasn't, blow away.
Yeah, I guess one that could disappoint is pretty dependent on the booking. I guess if Saya retains, people will be disappointed.
That's a good point.
And that'll be kind of dependent on the Mirai direction. But
yeah.
I don't know. I can't see any of the major matches flopping unless like...
Yeah, and the only other thing is if Jessie is just terrible when that'd be like, ugh, this is what we're doing with Mina, like, right? So okay, all right. Well, I think that's going to do it for Stardom. I think you can tell that Jamie and I are like just insanely stoked for the show. We'll get you the full report, full review at this time next week. I think we're going to move on and talk about some AAA, some TripleMania. But hold on, do we have a guest in our StreamYard? What do we have? El Acerero? What? What? Welcome on Dumb Guy Live. Welcome to the show. He doesn't have his mic on, like an idiot.
El Acerero has arrived.
Cool. Wow.
Manny the Hooper isn't the only luchador at Wrestle Purist. El Acerero has come.
El Acerero. Did you that's like somebody who you'd find in like the dark 10-man tag on a Copa del Rey show or something.
Actually from IWRG.
Okay. You like you're hip hop man and El Hijo del Fishman. Well, that's really cool, dude. What's going on? Were you at TripleMania?
Yes, I was in. Was it Monterey? Yes, I was in Monterey.
Yeah, it
And I'm
was in
ready to talk
Monterey.
I was ready to talk some TripleMania.
Right. Yeah. So what'd you think of the show? What was it cool watching a wrestling show in a baseball diamond?
I don't remember much of it, but it was a hell of a show. I don't remember the
Oh,
details,
little
man.
too much tequila.
Little too much. Little too
Más
much united.
cervezas.
You know how it is
Por
in Mexico.
el acerero. Sí, sí,
It
sí,
was
sí,
a
sí.
hell of a show, and I'm ready to get down to the nitty gritty.
Right. Right. That's a good pose. That's a luchador pose. Well done. Well, let's this is actually wow. Okay, the crowd is popping for it right now. What is El Acerero doing in the Dumb Guy Live Zone? I don't know. I didn't know. I don't know about this. It is the biggest debut of WP. Unas chelas or like queladas, micheladas. See, this weekend I was in Kentucky, and we got back. So I was at like a debate tournament, and we got back from the debate tournament, and it's like 11:30 p.m. on a Sunday night, so nothing's open. I check on Uber Eats. The closest thing is street tacos from a truck, and I got them delivered. I got pollo asada with the mix, the homemade tortillas, corn, and all that, and I got 4 of them, and I destroyed them in my hotel room. It was fantastic. It was probably the best part of the trip.
You wouldn't believe it, but El Acerero actually had Chipotle for dinner. So
Auténtico.
El Acerero is he's a Tex-Mex luchador. He's like
Oh,
I'm actually
he's like Sammy Guevara.
I'm not the Laredo kid, but I am the Pittsburgh kid. So that's what I am.
You're the Waco kid.
I'm the Pittsburgh kid.
The Pittsburgh kid. Oh, I get it. Wow, I didn't know they made those. So I assume Acerero means Steeler.
Yep.
There we go. Cool. That's pretty cool, dude. Damn. Thoughts on Ben Roethlisberger?
See, senor. He's the best quarterback in the history of NFL. He's a very good man, a family man. He has a lot of, nice children with his wife Ashley and his 3 sons, Ben, Bodie, and Ben and Bodie and the other one. But Ben Roethlisberger, great man. I was actually at his last game. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Vamos los acereros. Vamos.
Where what you said we are the Steeler. We what anyway, where's your terrible towel? Your terrible.
It's toalla terrible. They actually sell the ones with the Spanish on them. Shit. I don't know. I have a jersey in there, but I'm not putting it on for Kenny. I'm not going to do that. So I'm here. El Acerero.
All right. Well, you guys, I thought this was a pretty mid show, to be honest. I did not think this TripleMania was that was that. I know. I did not think. I'm sorry, El Acerero. I just didn't. I thought this was so okay. I think the best thing in Mexican wrestling, I think pretty much the best thing in wrestling in general, is the mask versus mask match. All right. I think it is the like pinnacle of emotion. The idea that you wrestle for years and years, sometimes decades, with this singular identity. You don't change gimmicks. You are that. And it's not just like it is a specific thing. Like you're a Templar, right? Or you're a warrior in some way. You're the final warrior, the ultimate warrior, right? You're the mystic. You're a mystery. You're all these types of things, right? Okay, so I think that the idea that can be shifted on a dime because a feud warrants it is incredible. And I thought this show kind of made like a mockery of it, with the cage match at the start, leaving Mysticis Jr. and Argenis, and then with Argenis losing in less than 10 minutes.
But talk about shocking. I was shocked by it.
You were?
The general, I thought it was going to be Antifaz. I thought Antifaz was going to get the unmask.
You thought Antifaz was going to lose the mask?
Yeah.
No.
That was my guess going in.
No, see, nah. When you're that old and you've been around the block that much, like it's got to be a bigger deal than
Dude.
that. When it was, I knew it was going to be one of the fucking mid card dudes. Like, in fact, I don't think I actually openly thought. Well, I wondered if they were going to do Abismo Negro Jr. because I think the original Abismo Negro is like mad that they use that name. So I think I may have thought it was going to be him. And he's a good wrestler, but he's like not a pushed guy or anything.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was really disappointed by that match. I thought that was one of the worst mask matches I've ever seen. In fact, there was just nothing to it. So that was my big disappointment. Other stuff was like fucking Alberto Del Rio on the show in 2023. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you, Conan? Like, stop being like that.
He's so dumb, dude.
You fucking freak. Like,
he's in our DMs. He asked me, he DM'd me the other day and asked if I watched his podcast. I mean, I know he does that to everyone, but I was like, dude, you have better things to do. Like,
I should have been like, how about you don't book the fucking rapist? Yes.
Maybe we should start doing that. We should start DMing people, getting them to watch our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We should steal that gimmick, I think.
And then we can shout them out on the show.
Yeah.
I thought the Vampiro match was fucking awful as well. I don't know why. I don't know how Vampiro manages to keep himself relevant in 2023.
Wasn't that supposed to be like the influencer?
What do you mean?
The Vampiro match, wasn't that supposed to be like some influencer match?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Wasn't that name?
Just like
someone in the comments know, but like
someone can let us know. But it was just stupid, right? It's just like dumb. Anyway, I thought there were two really good matches on this show. I shouldn't say that. I did not think the semi-main was really good. I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was really good. I loved it.
I saw the Wrestle Purist ratings this week, and I was like, whoa. And I thought the main event was really good. It was a great match.
I thought the main event was a tad better than the semi-main, but I still thought the semi-main was like a stellar match. Because really, I'm a sucker for an old lucha brawl. Like an old school lucha brawl is like with LA Park. It's really LA Park.
Well, see, I love him too, but it's just like, and Roosh was great in it, but Blue Demon is like, dude, he's so old. He looks physically old. Like he looks elderly, like not just old and hard.
I think Diamante Azul is kind of mid, personally. Like I don't think he's that great.
That's like the story of his career is that he keeps like failing upwards despite.
Really, I thought Rouge and LA Park just being like the best foils for Blue Demon Jr. Like I loved it. I understand what you're coming from, but like this match was completely up my alley.
I'm just saying, I love a bloody lucha brawl too. I think you know that about me. I just didn't think this was the best example of it. Like it has fucking DMT Azul in it. Like who could possibly care, right? Blue Demon Jr. looks elderly. LA Park was good because the crowd loved him. He bled a lot, and he hit some dives.
Did you see like the stipulation for what this match like they're going to lead to? The LA Park thing.
They're going to do a singles match.
No,
right?
They're doing LA Park and Roosh versus Psycho Clown and Sam Adonis.
Oh, right. The
losers face off in a mask match to main event TripleMania in Mexico City.
So it's obviously going to be Psycho Clown versus Sam Adonis.
I was thinking LA Park and Roosh.
No, I will bet you $1 million right now. It's Psycho Clown versus Sam Adonis, and Adonis loses the hair. Yeah,
Pittsburgh guy. I love Sam Adonis. You know,
they're not letting an AEW contracted. The AEW is not letting Roosh lose his hair. LA Park is never losing the mask. Psycho Clown is never losing the mask. It has to be Sam Adonis.
I mean, you see, El Acerero, dreams big. I dreamed big. I wanted a shocking thing. You're probably right. But I believe.
I think we need to put something big on the line here. We got two predictions for how this is going to play out. I think we need to do a mask versus hair match on this prediction.
Mask versus hair match?
Yeah. El Acerero has his mask by October. So let's be honest,
right. You get a big enough payday. You get enough pesos, and you're putting that mask on the line.
Amen. I don't want everyone to know my name. I have a terrible name, and I have a pretty ugly forehead.
Right,
not everyone's gonna get unmasked and look like Dr. Wagner Jr. and be real nice.
You're like Stuka Jr., who just looks like a guy.
Not everyone's gonna come out good looking.
Poor Stuka. Like it's cool that he main evented, anniversary show and all that, but he just looks like a dude. And
Viano
Stuka,
Ford didn't look great
like his
either.
mask was so cool with the fucking like
Viano Ford didn't look great either.
well, Viano 4 is a million years old. Yeah. Okay, a couple super chats here. This is from Henry Charles Albert David. Ben Roethlisberger is close friends with my uncle. Yeah, that sounds about right to me. That sounds accurate. I'm glad that you're being more
He's
open
good
about
friends
this.
with the king. That's awesome. Wait, that's your dad. Fuck.
Yep, you're
He's
really
good
smart.
friends with what's the other one? What's the good one? Andrew or Edward?
The good one, the good monarch.
The one that isn't like on Epstein's Island.
Edward.
Oh, he must be very good friends with Edward.
Yeah. Anyway, Mavsfan84, $1.99. LA Park got wild old man Carney energy, still rules. Yeah, that's the thing. It's just like it's LA Park. It's like I'm down with it. I like LA Park, but yeah, exactly. It's like, how can you not? If I was in the audience for that, I'd be going crazy. You know what I mean? So even though I'm not loving it on watching the replay a couple days later, I'm still like, you know what? This is fine by me. All right. The main event, AAA mega title. Some big names in this one. 4-way match. Vikingo successfully defended the title against Swerve Strickland, Commander, and Rich Swann in what I thought was just a great 4-way match. Great spot fest match, but it was different than a lot of AAA matches because Swerve isn't really a high flyer, but he is great at these types of matches. So he added some really hard-hitting intensity to it. He was the biggest heel in the match for sure. And I thought he really ended up being the star for me, and alongside Vikingo, who's always the star of whatever he does. But also, I just want to note, and I've talked a lot here, but just because I'm kind of lucha guy a little bit, for Commander to be main eventing TripleMania is remarkable considering where he was at this time last year. Like a year and a half ago, I was tweeting like, you guys need to pay attention to this Commander guy. And it's just like, he's like Aramis, or he's like Latigo, or he's like Toxin, or he's like, one of these.
And for that, thank you, Tony Khan. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Tony Khan. He's just like one of those guys who's like super good, but AAA knows where they make their money, and it's not really with Commander, right? But so having him in the main event was really cool, and not something I really ever expected to see. All right, Jamie, any thoughts on this? Did you watch this show, Jamie?
So I have only seen the main event.
Main event was epic.
How'd you feel about it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Pretty much everything you said. I thought Swerve was great as like a heel, kind of like based to let the high flyers get all their moves off and stuff. And I think, he, like you said, he brought that intensity. Vikingo continues to be like like ridiculous. Like every match I watch is like he does something crazy that I've like never seen before. Commander as well, like you said, is like his stock's elevated so much that likely thanks to this America run and he's had recently. And Rich Swann, not someone I've seen lots of recently. I assume he's in Impact. Is he in Impact? Yeah.
Yep.
I don't watch it. I don't know. I mean, I always like Rich Swann.
See, he's like a personal favorite of mine. I think he's great.
Cardio from the last big match he had.
All right, El Acerero. I almost like gave your shoot name out, your government name, and that's like a no-no.
You don't know
that's how mad. That's how mad you just made me trying to insult Rich Swann.
Jeez, did I pull a Quattrero? Jesus.
All right, El Acerero, you're being distasteful on Dumb Guy Live right now. Don't pull a Quattrero in on the show, right? Don't pull an El Patron.
Quattrero was worse. He wanted to actually kill them.
I got to be honest. I'm not really in the business of delineating between violence against women, but I guess that's your prerogative.
El Acerero cares about people, so that's what separates El Acerero from the rest.
You know what? I agree. Alberto El Patron should be wrestling. Okay. Anyway, someone's gonna isolate that and get me in trouble. All right, guys. I think it's that time. I don't know if Acerero is gonna do a Beast of the Week or what.
Acerero, I'm signing off. I'm going back to training with IWOG with the
Hasta la vista.
Action Jackson, so I'll be back.
Yeah, Action Jackson. That was a joke, by the way. That's what white boys call him. It's because it's like it makes it rhyme. Okay. Anyway, I guess we'll just do the Beast of the Week. Just two of us, Jamie-san. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. The just since there's no Murph and or Acerero here, we can just do a little casual Beast of the Week for Dumb Guy Live. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute.
Hold on.
Guys, sorry, my
Oh,
Wi-Fi's been terrible.
Where did
so-
you? Yeah.
missed
What the? For like a half hour?
Yeah, man, my Wi-Fi's been terrible. I had to run it. I had to run out to the gas station. Get what you got to get. But I'm back.
man, you should have seen it, man. We had
Oh, we got an IWRG mid-carder who defended
Was Action
Quadrero's
Jackson
violence
here?
against women.
Action Jackson here?
No, it was El Acerero, your favorite.
I don't know that guy. I never heard of him. He must be new.
He teams with El Hijo del Fishman on most Tuesdays.
Does he face the hip hop man too? Jeez.
Yeah, he had a very famous rivalry with the hip hop man
Hmm.
and Emperador Azteca as well.
Wow.
So, all right. Anyway, this is just see. You know what? Murph and I could do this all day. We could just like.
If you love
let's
this,
go back and
stay
forth with Lucha Libre shitters, and let's just like do that for a sec.
tuned.
Like name someone.
We'll do Aerostar. He's honestly a shitter, to be honest with you.
Aerostar, sure. Okay, Astro Boy.
Ooh, you're putting the Elemental.
That's a good one. the pig stable in RWRG, the one that's like they're like Pig Destroyer and Pig Decapitator and all that type of stuff.
El Rayo de Jalisco Jr.
Pirata Morgan.
Shit.
Am I gonna win?
Honestly, I'm gonna pull this out of my ass. Wait, his name lost me. What was the asshole? Shit. Who's Rayo de Jalisco's friend in CML when you were in CMLL? The old guy. It was even worse. He couldn't go up the steps. Fuck. What's his name?
Universo Año.
Año 2000.
Yeah,
Junior,
Año
yes.
2000. See, this is like there's like 3 Americans who could have like had that conversation
Me,
and just like landed.
Parker, Lucha Blog, and Rob Viper.
And Rob Viper, and that's it. That's so
if
funny.
you love us like shitting around like this, like even more unstructured than a Dumb Guy Live, tune into Dumb Guy Live Twitter for a Dumb Guy Chat, which we have occasionally in Twitter.
It's like half the show is us just naming random things from wrestling we remember. And again, so if you hadn't had to have me think of one, my next one would have been Hedy Karui or whatever his name
I was
is.
thinking of who's the
Yeah.
Gianni Valletta.
Oh, Johnny Valletta, that's a good one too. What about Strong Man? All right.
Ooh.
Anyway,
Travis Banks.
Travis. Yeah. Okay. All right. You know who should come back to wrestling?
Oh, don't do it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
I couldn't. I wasn't going to. All right. It's time for the Beast of the Week, everybody. It's time for the Beast of the Week. Jamie, we always start with you. Go for it, buddy.
Yeah, my Beast of the Week. Not going to go with someone from Stardom. Don't really think anyone from the New Japan shows. All right, my Beast of the Week. The most deserving man for Beast of the Week this week is John Morrison.
Good one.
John Morrison for knocking.
That's a
Epic meal
great
time
answer.
out of the ring. He's the guy he's on this. For anyone who didn't see it, John Morrison took part in Creator Clash 2, which is this YouTube boxing card for charity. He fought. What's the guy's name? Harley. I don't know. Some 6'7".
I have no idea. I only saw clips.
He's some 6'7" food reviewer. This beast. This guy's entrance was great. It was like the Shield. He came through the crowd with a vest on. But John Morrison pieced him up, knocked him out the ring, knocked him down twice more, got on the mic, called out the Paul brothers, and then was like, actually, those guys fucking suck. I want to fight KSI because he's never lost. Despite the fact that he's like 40 pounds heavier than KSI. I want to see it. It's big business.
That'd be incredible. That would be big
So
business.
yeah, man. John Morrison deserves Beast of the Week this week, and he's getting it from me.
I did not watch this match, but I saw exactly one highlight from it, and it was Katsuhiko Nakajima getting his fucking face kicked off by resident dumb guy liveite Jake Lee. And just for that, and for retaining that title, he is my Beast of the Week. Jake Lee for P here.
I love that match.
Let's get the Regal Super Chat before mine.
Okay, all right. Before we get to Murph, we have a $4.99 super chat from Regal. My little bucket of joy, Parker, my master debater, Parker, my scrumptious roasted marshmallow, you're my Beast of the Week. Stop it. I don't believe it. Oh, thank you so much, Regal. We appreciate you so much. You make me smile most weeks. It's great. Murph-san?
For my Beast of the Week, I had to take the thing out of the handle.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to do a little musical number. Carry on my wayward son. Basically, you be done. Pay a minute, not too late. Don't you cry no more. Okay. My Beast of the Week was not because of his wrestling. My Beast of the Week was not because of anything done on a wrestling TV show. My Beast of the Week was because of a tweet. My Beast of the Week is Brandon Cutler for standing up to CM Punk, who is the worst person to ever be in part of the wrestling business. Yes, there have been rapists. Yes, there have been abusers. Yes, there have been murderers.
Oh my God.
No one has gone after innocent people like CM Punk has in a locker room and punched them out. CM Punk is gaslighting AEW. CM Punk is a disgrace to this business. CM Punk. Brandon Cutler is my Beast of the Week. And Jack Murphy will not watch any AEW Collision because I will not stand for this gaslighting. Murph, or I'll say top guy, out.
Thank you, everybody, for watching Dumb Guy Live this week. I appreciate everybody who tunes in and watches the show. We'll be back next week with a review of Stardom from the Yokohama Arena, and I'm sure we'll talk about other stuff too. So until then, this has been Dumb Guy Live for Murph and for Jamie and for El Acerero. We will see you next time. Goodbye.